Now I want to talk about waste, consumerism, and corporate greed, and why we need to bring back mom and pop stores and stop getting rid of all these mega food grocery stores and just stores in general. This would never happen in a mom and pop store, but y'all explain to me how. Everything that you see here, let's start from where it came from. These onions, they were grown in a field by a farmer who had to prep that land. And in prepping that land, he used equipment that used gas, more than likely diesel. He had to put oil in that piece of machinery as well to keep it running. Tires. He had to buy that piece of equipment. He had to buy that land. He had to take time to go out there and till that land and prep that land to grow these onions. Plant seed. Then comes harvesting time. Now these all got to come up. So again, we're using equipment, diesel fuel, oil. Also keep in mind, while these were in the ground, they had to be watered. So if they were not getting the typical water they needed from our water source from the sky, from rain, then the farmer had to water these. These things probably required some type of plant feed and maybe even a chemical to keep the bugs off. All of that adds up, folks. Money. The time and energy that goes into growing onions. Harvest time comes. Now these onions got to get pulled and processed. And with processing comes going through all the onions, picking all the bad ones out that don't belong in the bags, and then bagging them. Now let's talk about this bag, folks. Where does this come from? It's plastic. Somebody had to manufacture this bag. Chances are it was probably manufactured overseas. Plastic requires energy, oil, lots of other chemicals to make this. Now you also got to have the heavy machinery that's creating this product and pushing it through. Not just that product, but again, we've got a label on here. Same process, folks. Somewhere this label is made. We've also got these metal bands. Again, folks, process. Somewhere this is made. So all of these have to come together to create this one bag, right? So let's say these are all being made overseas. So you've got a factory pushing out all this energy, labor, time. Then it's got to get loaded up into some type of shipping product, probably a box or a container of some sort, and then make its way to wherever it's going, right? All of this ink on here. Again, folks, time, energy, money, resources, water, gas, more emissions being put out into this earth. Overuse of everything. Push consumption. So now this is on a boat going across the Atlantic, killing our waters. More resources wasted, time and energy too, folks. Think about all the people that are involved in the process of the onions, the bag. And then once they get to where it's going, that farmer has to bag these products. All of this to do what, folks? To throw it in the trash. We consume so much. I mean, just think. Right here. You got peppers, zucchini and squash, and tomato. Let's look right here. All right, folks. There was some bread. All right. This right here. This is what them peppers came in. So again, folks, back to more waste from just 3 bell peppers. 90% of these bell peppers were good. I would say out of all the bell peppers I've pulled, and here they are, folks, and I've actually already given some away. I might have had 15 bad bell peppers. Out of squash, I've had 0 squash and 2 bad zucchini. Now the tomatoes, I've had more tomato waste, but mostly because they're squished. But I just started taking the squished ones, washing them, and if they've got bad spots, I'm going to cut them off and then dice them all up, and then I'll end up freezing and using it. But explain to me how we, the people of everywhere, can afford this. This is what cucumbers came in, and actually all those cucumbers ended up being bad. I fed those to the chickens. But the same bag for the tomatoes. Here you go. Plastic, waste, 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 waste. Who at the end of the day is paying for this? We are. We, the consumer. We're paying for this. It doesn't make sense. And this is why eggs are $5 and $6. How is it that we can continue to pay these prices and yet corporations can continue to throw this away? I mean, plastic growth, plastic, 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 just pushing all of this into our environment. Oh, and let me show you guys, these little cartons right here. These are the ones the strawberries came in that weren't any good. This is what the zucchini was on, or the squash. These plastic containers. Why are we wrapping squash and zucchini in plastic? So they were set in this plastic container and then turned around and wrapped in saran wrap with a fucking label on it. This is why we need mom and pop stores back. We don't need all this fucking plastic. It's too much waste all across the board.